Southeast Iowa Union Newsbreak. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Let's get into the top stories. Washington resident Lane Wyrick hopes to kick off SNAP delivered services in Washington by September 19th. The app advertises itself as a lower cost, less corporate alternative to platforms like Uber Eats and DoorDash. Wyrick said food delivery options were lacking in Washington. The big apps don't come to towns our size, he said. I want Washington, Iowa to be a template for what's possible in small towns. SNAP Delivered distinguishes itself from other restaurant delivery apps by charging a flat rate rather than a percentage of an order's cost. Every order charges the user a $5 delivery fee, waived for those who are paying a membership, a minimum of $3.50 for a fuel fee, a mandatory 10% tip to the driver, and a $2 charge to the restaurant itself, according to Wyrick. The company uses a multi-level marketing model, or an MLM. The controversial business tactic involves a sales force that makes commission for their own sales as well as those of people they refer. Another hallmark of the model is affiliates who personally plug the product, often on social media, rather than spending corporate funds on advertising and recruitment. While the practice is legal, it has been likened to pyramid schemes, which make money exclusively from referrals and not from product sales. SNAP Delivered was one of over 1,100 businesses sent a notice of penalty offenses for money-making opportunities by the FTC last year. While the agency said the notice does not in any way suggest that it has engaged in deceptive or unfair conduct, it serves as a warning of plans to pursue civil action against the company if evidence does come to light. SNAP Delivered CEO Paul Michael said that the company sought to avoid those ethical issues often associated with MLM structure. We use the structure absolutely because it's one of the best ways to get the word out, he said, but that's where it ends. Nobody has to buy anything, nobody gets paid in our business unless someone else does an order. Michael said that the food delivery service didn't require affiliates to pay to get involved, a defining element of many MLMs that have turned out to be scams. Affiliate ranks are based instead on commissions or referrals, not directly on referral accounts alone. Federal Surface Transportation Board has set its schedule for public meetings, inviting comments on a proposed merger between Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern Railways. The regulatory agency released a draft environmental impact assessment on the proposed merger August 5th, predicting that train traffic in Washington County would increase by 14.4 trains per day, a total of nearly 20, within the 3 years of the merger is approved. The meetings most accessible from Southeast Iowa include September 7th, 6 to 8 p.m. online, September 8th, 12 to 2 p.m. online, September 13th, 6 to 8 at the River Center in Davenport, September 19th, 6 to 8 p.m. online. Information about the merger and how to submit public comments can be found at the STB-sponsored website, cpkcsmergereis.com. The public comment period on the draft impact statement closes September 26th of this year. A new boutique has opened in Washington called Mama Llamas. The store is run by owner Carissa Mellinger, who launched it as an online service and pop-up outlet in 2017, but decided to open the brick-and-mortar location when her family moved to Washington over the summer. We decided it was the perfect opportunity with the perfect location, and we did it on a whim, she said. Honestly, we have been waiting for this moment and for all of our cards and stuff to finally align. The store is geared towards young families. In addition to a mommy and me line with matching clothes for mothers and kids, the store also has a play kitchen for children. She is generally accompanied at the store by a handful of her own 6 children. After a grand opening Thursday afternoon, Mellinger said she was excited. Honestly, I love shopping. I love being able to dress the kids. I love being able to be fashionable but cute and trendy with a mom style. And I don't want to break the bank for everybody. I just really like it. Those are our top stories. It is now time for obituaries. Kenneth Lee Norton of Fairfield passed away on August 18th. A memorial service is scheduled for September 10th at 2 p.m. at First Lutheran Church. Banner Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Dale R. McSorley of Mount Pleasant passed away on August 31st at the age of 64. Funeral services will be held at 11 a.m. September 6th at the Bethel Cemetery in rural Wapello. Kimsey Funeral Home of Mount Pleasant is in charge of the arrangements. J. Warren Cowgill of Marion passed away on September 3rd at the age of 96. Funeral services will begin at 11 a.m. on September 8th at the Prairie View United Methodist Church. Cranston Family Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Robert Eugene Creek of Batavia passed away on September 2nd at the age of 93. Funeral services will begin at 11 a.m. on September 10th at the Cranston Family Funeral Home in Eldon, Iowa. Cranston Family Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. J. Patrick Pfeiffer of South English passed away on September 1st at the age of 68. Memorial Mass was held at 10:30 a.m. September 6th at Holy Trinity Parish, St. Mary's Catholic Church in Keota. Powell Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Weldon Clarence Gerard of Washington passed away on September 3rd at the age of 83. Funeral services will be held at 10 a.m. September 7th at the Marion Avenue Baptist Church. Jones and Eden Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Joanne Mary Scepter of New London passed away on September 3rd at the age of 92. Graveside services will be held at 2 p.m. September 8th at Brooks Cemetery in Rural New London. Elliott Funeral Chapel is in charge of the arrangements. Wanda Maxine Hatch passed away on September 1st at the age of 88. Funeral services were held at 1 p.m. September 6th at the Olson Powell Memorial Chapel. Powell Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Donald Henry Monson of Iowa City passed away on September 2nd at the age of 91. Graveside services will be held at Long Creek Cemetery in rural Danville at a later date. Jones and Eden Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Marilyn S. Jones of Mount Pleasant passed away on August 15th at the age of 92. Services will be held at 10 a.m. on September 8th at the Presbyterian Church in Mount Pleasant. Kimsey Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. Sandra Ellis of Birmingham passed away on September 3rd at the age of 73. Funeral services will be held at 10:30 a.m. on September 9th at Benner Funeral Home. Benner Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we'll have the weather and sports.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
Welcome back to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. We have sports coming up, but first, the weather.
The weather is brought to you by Jacqueline Ariola, LLC.
Come visit Jackie in her new location downtown. She is ready to serve Washington and the surrounding community. We started this short work week with some decent weather, partly cloudy skies and a high of 84. Tomorrow will be more of the same with partly cloudy skies and only slightly warmer with a high of 86. There'll be a bit more sun on Thursday with a mostly sunny skies and a high of 83. Partly cloudy skies will return for the weekend, however. On Friday, there will be a high of 85 and a low of 62. And on Saturday, the high is 83 and the low is 61. That was the weather. It is now time for sports.
Sports, brought to you by Fairway.
Rivals Washington and Mount Pleasant did battle on the gridiron Friday night in a non-district bout, which culminated in a Demon victory over the Panthers. Washington took the lead early and never looked back, blistering to a 54-20 win over Mount Pleasant. Washington's Taven Stewart had yet another big game in Week 2. He found the end zone for the Demons 3 times on the ground, racking up 194 yards on the night. Stewart quickly put the finishing touches on Washington's first 2 drives to make it 14-0. In the second quarter, Washington continued the onslaught. Jude Brown crossed the goal line twice for the Demons in the second quarter with a 2-yard rushing touchdown and a 35-yard receiving touchdown to make it 26-0. Mount Pleasant was able to find a spark late in the second after converting a botched punt. The drive was solidified with a 3-yard punch in by Zarek Van House and completed 2-point conversion cut the Demon lead to 26-8. The Mount Pleasant momentum was quickly thwarted as the Demons marched down the field with under 2 minutes to go and scored with 45 seconds left on the clock on a 21-yard touchdown pass from Ethan Patterson to Evan Vandermolen. Washington headed into the locker room with a 33-8 advantage. Mount Pleasant came out of the gate strong to start the second half after 2 big completions by Carter Amos. Rickman was able to find Wyatt Woodsmall for the 15-yard touchdown to make it 33-14. Washington couldn't be contained on the offensive end. On their next 2 drives, Patterson found Luke Beanblossom and Stewart for a pair of receiving touchdowns to make it 47-14. The Panthers' final score of the game came from the arm of Rickman once again, this time finding Peyton Higgins for the 4-yard touchdown. Stewart sealed the deal for Washington with a 35-yard touchdown to make it 54-20. On the night, the Demons amassed a total of 467 yards with 337 on the ground. The win for Washington marks the 12th win in a row over Mount Pleasant. Washington moves to 2-0 in the season and will take on Clear Creek Amana on Friday at home. Moving now to volleyball, Washington has been playing some great volleyball in the early season, and Thursday night the Demons showed promise once again as they took on Mediapolis. Despite the great play, it was a tough outing against Mediapolis that took all 5 sets to decide a winner. When all was said and done, and Washington came up just after the back-and-forth affair. The Demons took the first set 25-23, lost the second set 25-14, and won the third 25-16. And then Mediapolis came out on top in the fourth 25-14, and they kept rolling into the final set as well, winning 15-6. Leading the way for the Washington on the night was Alex Murphy. She ended up with a team-high 9 kills. Lauren Hendrickson racked up 14 assists. Messenger also led in Diggs' apartment, tallying 21 on the night as well as 8 kills. The Demons had a very efficient night serving the ball, serving at a 98% clip with 5 aces between the 5 sets. On Saturday, the Demons traveled to Anamosa to compete in the weekend tournament. It was a tough afternoon of volleyball for Washington as they were bested in each of the 3 matchups. Washington lost to Bellevue 21-13 and then 21-12. Clear Creek Amana 21-12 and 21-13, and host Anamosa 21-8 and 21-14, all in 2 straight sets. The Demons 3-8 will look to bounce back tonight against Southeast Conference opponent Keokuk, who is 2-6 on the year at home. Looking at cross country, Washington cross country headed north on Thursday to compete in the Bob Brown Invitational hosted by Regina Catholic. The Washington girls wrapped the meet up with an 8th place finish, while the Demons boys finished 8 overall. Iris Dahl led the Demon girls with a 5th place finish. Dahl clocked a time of 21 minutes 11.16 seconds on the day. Quincy Griffiths placed 17th in the competition with a 22-minute and 11.99 second time. Olivia Anderson ended in 38th. Abigail Calise was 42nd. Lauren Hook 44th. Kendall Hendrickson 45th. And Isabel Lujan finished 51st. For the boys, Micah Reese was a top 3 finisher. Reese ran a time of 17 minutes and 0.99 seconds for 3rd overall. Andrew Reese finished 30th overall. Tyler Alderton was 32nd. Drew Horak ended 41st. Lane Schrock finished 46th. Elijah Morris 59th. And Kale Malikdi took 102nd. That was the top stories for Washington. I've been your host, Nick Steffens. This is the Southeast Iowa Union Newsbreak, and I will see you next time.